In the continuation of a years-long free-for-all ever since I was a kid, the United States has just fallen to a new record low in economic freedom, according to the Heritage Foundation. I'm going to tell you why they gave the U.S. their lowest scores ever. Hi, I'm Andrew Henderson. This is Nomad Capitalist, the channel and the company that helps 7- and 8-figure entrepreneurs and investors legally go where you're treated best. And before I share how the U.S. has fallen to an all-time record low on the index of economic freedom, I do always take these indices with a bit of a grain of salt, whether it's the best places to live, which always seems to be Auckland and Melbourne and Zurich, as well as these economic freedom indices, because you have countries like Australia and New Zealand at the top. Certainly if you are running a big business, these kind of countries may offer more freedom, but if you're the average entrepreneur or investor who just wants to go where you're treated best, you can take certain things from these indices, which is what we'll do today, but obviously you may have a different set of criteria that makes some of the more up-and-coming countries that we talk about, tax-free countries, things like that, more appealing than it would for someone who's shipping stuff out of ports and opening factories and employing 10,000 people. But the headline is very simply this: in the 2021 Index of Economic Freedom, we've been wanting to talk about this for a while, the United States has fallen to 20th. Now that may not seem so bad. There are nearly 200 different countries on the index. They're ranked from free to mostly free to somewhat free down to abysmal, basically. And so out of all the countries in the world, being 20th doesn't seem so bad. But what I am in business and in life is a momentum thinker. When things are on the upswing, when business is going up, I feel like, okay, let's keep playing on our strengths. Let's keep riding the momentum. When things are going down, I ask, well, what's going to change until we make a change fundamentally? And in that perspective, the United States does not seem to be wanting to make a change. You can go back to Trump. Many people thought Trump was all about cutting taxes. There were some areas where Trump made the U.S. economy and for U.S. citizens less competitive in the world. Now you look at Joe Biden. Joe Biden wants to raise tax rates left and right, and he's supported by a left wing that really wants to stick it to the rich. If they're Elizabeth Warren, say, hey, if you're rich, you're a tax cheat. That's what they say. And so the fact is the momentum is going in the wrong direction. Here's what the Heritage Foundation said about the United States as it devalued its economy for freedom once again. It said, due to out-of-control spending and a loss by Americans in the even-handed rule of law. Now again, do I think that Australia and New Zealand are tops? No, because I don't think a country where a pack of cigarettes costs $1,000 can be the most free economy. What you see, however, is that countries like Estonia, number 8, Georgia, number 12, Lithuania, number 15, Chile, number 19, these places are headed in the right direction. Just look at the course of my lifetime. These countries weren't ranked number 8, 12, 15, and 19. Mauritius, you would have thought, is the number 13 economy. These countries are all beating the United States. Heck, Denmark is beating the United States. Many other Western countries, from Ireland, which I have a lot of respect for, even the Australias and the New Zealands, and of course the Singapores are beating the United States. But when a think tank in the United States says, even-handed rule of law is going away, it makes you think. You live in the United States and you're paying a lot of taxes. If you run a big business and you have a C corporation, you're paying 21% after the Trump tax cuts. Joe Biden thinks that's not enough. Now, it seems that higher corporate tax rate's not going to go through, but the thinking of the country, the thinking of the political class is 21% plus, then you take the money out, whether it's a dividend, whether it's a salary, that's not enough. People who are running small businesses through structures like LLCs or sole proprietorships may be paying 30, 40, even in some cases 50% at the federal and state level. And yet politicians think that's great. And yet, what are you getting for that money? Are you getting the free health care you get in some of these other countries? No. Now, am I saying I want to pay 50% to get free health care? No, but if I'm forced to live in a country where I'm paying 50%, at least I'd like to get something for my money. And now the survey says you don't even get the same level of rule of law. Now, none of us are comparing the United States to Djibouti when it comes to rule of law, but it's going in the wrong direction. It is a slowly sinking ship. The study says the United States economic freedom score is 74.8, making it the 20th freest economy in this year's index. Its overall score decreased by 1.8 points. Certainly not the worst decrease in the world, but not the best. I mean, any decrease isn't great, but this was a larger decrease than some countries. The United States is ranked 3rd among 32 countries in the Americas region, so that's not so terrible. Its overall score is above the regional and world averages. The United States received its lowest score and lowest ranking ever in the index. And again, I was reading this when I was 11. My dad would come home and say, "Oh, did you see that Hong Kong is doing very well?" it remains mostly free. By the way, we're not so far away. Next step, Malaysia, which is mostly free. So is Azerbaijan. These are probably not countries where you thought about starting your business. I love living in Malaysia, but did you think that Malaysia was barely one step away from the United States in terms of economic freedom? And so the article goes on about how private property rights are widely respected, but land rights have been somewhat devalued in recent decades by extended use of eminent domain and the imposition of increasingly detrimental environmental regulations and controls. The top individual tax rate is basically high. Government spending is high. Public debt is high and going the wrong direction. Business freedom and labor freedom can vary a great deal from state to state. We know that. There are preferential trade agreements, but some things are getting worse in that regard as well. So listen, no one here is saying that the United States is the absolute worst place to do business. What I do want to caution you against is turning on your television and saying, oh, the migrants from El Salvador are coming. If they want to come, then you're an idiot for leaving. Well, the kind of person who wants to come as an illegal immigrant, as a migrant, the person who wants to come and get a job in Silicon Valley, who comes from India or from China or from wherever else on an H-1B visa, I'm glad that they're going where they're treated best. And yet, the fact that they're doing what's best for them doesn't mean that it's the same place as best for you. They have a lot of economic opportunity there, but yet how many people, despite how many people are leaving El Salvador to come to the United States, how many Americans and other people are watching El Salvador eagerly and saying, this is a place that's opening up to Bitcoin. This is a place where the president's saying, invest your Bitcoin and we'll give you permanent residence. There's opportunity there. And if we can afford to bring the dollars we've made in a place like the United States in the years when it was more free down to El Salvador, we can create a great life and we don't have the same problems as the people who are leaving El Salvador. Of course, everyone should go where they're treated best, but if you look at the markers, rule of law, property rights down, judicial effectiveness down, government integrity down, is that a surprise? Business freedom down, labor freedom down, fiscal health down. Even with investment freedom and financial freedom, sure, people come from all around the world to invest in the United States. It may be a good place if you're buying property with debt. Hard to find places where you can get as much leverage as in the United States. Whether the market's a bubble or not is another question, but people are coming from around the world to park their money there. What's up? Monetary freedom seems suspicious. Tax burden, okay, some of the taxes have been going down in recent years. Government spending, again, hard to believe that that's on the upswing. Trade freedom, okay, fair enough. So you've got more things that are going the wrong direction than are going in the right direction. And what I would encourage you to do is, again, some of these things do impact, large businesses that may not be as nimble as you are. But the momentum is inescapable. Every single year you read this, the United States is basically going down. 1 or 2 years of the last decade, it's flat. It is going down, and it's been going down for a long time. I've always said the United States was the best country to be born in, according to the Economist Intelligence Unit, when I was born in 1984. It's not even, I don't think they make the index anymore, but the last time they did, it wasn't even the top 20. The economy, the same thing. It is in mostly free. Other Western economies beating it, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, the UAE is beating it. You can go there and you can pay zero tax. Again, our beloved Georgia beating it. Denmark, Iceland, Canada, the UK, Taiwan. Again, what's right behind it? Sweden, Malaysia, Japan. Who's going to Japan? South Korea, Austria. These are the countries that it's in. Armenia is not that far behind. It's almost nipping at its heels. Some of the countries that we're talking about, again, Armenia is up. Cyprus is up. Bulgaria, Malta, even Belgium is up. Belgium, of all places. And so what I want to look at is what direction is the country going? And if it's going in the wrong direction, what steps are being done to turn it around? And for entrepreneurs who want to keep more of their own money, sure, Montenegro may be ranked 80th, but at least their tax rates are 9%. And again, I would challenge, why are they particularly ranked 80th? What is so much worse about Montenegro than the United States for the average person who runs an internet business or is trading cryptocurrency or is doing stock trading? What is so much worse about Montenegro for the average person who, again, is not building big business infrastructure? The trend is your friend, and the trend is going against the United States. I can't say it's the case for all the Western countries. Sometimes we lump them all together and say, hey, they're all moving in the wrong direction on this. In this case, for some reason, yes, Australia's down a wee bit, New Zealand's down a wee bit, Switzerland's down just a hair, but you've got other Western countries that actually are increasing. Why isn't the United States? And if you're still running a business there, consider that this trend is probably going to continue because the political class and the people in the country don't mind. They want to be more like the countries that are ranked below them. They want to be ranked more like Norway. They want to be ranked more like Spain. They want to copy those countries' economic models and the things about them that aren't working. That's why you're going to continue to head in the wrong direction. Your taxes are going to go up. Your business freedoms are going to go down. And quite simply, if you can go to a country that has no taxes and more economic freedom, why would you stay in a country that's raising your taxes and reducing in economic freedom? Don't stop now. We've got well over 1,000 more videos here on YouTube for you to watch and learn how to go where you're treated best. And if you want to work with Nomad Capitalist personally, go to nomadcapitalist.com/apply, learn about our unique, tried and true process, garnered over years of experience, and learn how you can become our client.